Good day to you, one and all. It is I, Justin Hawkins, and this is Justin Hawkins Rides Again. I'm back. I'm back at home. I'm back in the YouTube studio of dreams, and today I'm going to talk about something that occurs in the music trade, specifically in the publishing side, on the publishing side of music, and it's called synchronization. For those of you who are not familiar with the inner workings of the music infrastructure, then this will be fascinating, and it's completely pertinent because at the moment there's a Darkness song being used in an advertisement, and some of you guys have noticed it, so today's the day when I discuss that. Justin Hawkins rides again. Right, a few of you have talked about this advert that the Darkness is, I believe in a thing called Love, has been featured in. So today I'm going to talk about what it's like to have your songs featured in advertisements, and I'm going to react to a few examples of that particular song being in TV or synchronized in certain ways. You'll often hear about publishing companies and even record companies having things like sync teams or a sync person. And what they're responsible for is the synchronization of a song within your catalogue to a picture, and it might be an advert or it might be a television program or a film or something like that. But the idea of it is that the visual and the song are synchronized. It's not the same as lip syncing. There's no obligation for what's happening in the picture to be, a direct interpretation of the music or vice versa. It just means getting your song on telly or in films, or I think it even counts for computer games and some of this new media stuff that people have their songs pitched for. If, say, for example, the American Burger Company wants to use, just as off the top, well, they want to use I Believe in a Thing Called Love. Okay, so they'll go to either the record company or the publishing company. Eventually they'll have to go to both, because the record company owns the master recording and the publishing company owns the rights to the song. So essentially, they have to pay two amounts of money. They have to pay some to them and some to the other ones. And depending on what state you're in, like if you've recouped your record label, then you'll get some money from the record label when that happens. And if you've recouped your publishing, the rest of it goes to recouping your publishing deal, which is the songwriting money. So really, the record company is the holder of the license for the master recording. I'm sorry, that's really boring. But it means that if they're using the original version, i.e. the recording that you made and released all those years ago, then that's the one that they have to pay for, and they have to pay your record company for that. I hope that clears it up. So basically, what happens is they'll say, yeah, we want to use I Believe in a Thing Called Love for American Burgers. The campaign's called Burgers because it's a disc of cow meat in a bun, and we love eating it, don't we? Like that. And then, so I, as a songwriter, might say, yeah, I'm not sure if I agree with the idea of using that song to advertise cow burgers, even though I'm a huge fan of the American Burger Company. I like their vegan stuff, but I don't want to be associated with the meat thing. So I would have an opportunity to say, no, you can't use it. And that has happened before, actually. That happened a few years ago. There was a company that creates dog food that wanted to use one of our songs, and we politely declined the opportunity mainly because the artistic considerations were not adequate. And then a little while after that, the Super Bowl advert came in. So there's an argument for keeping your powder dry. And the reason why this stuff's important is because we're a band from a period of time when people used to actually buy records, So I think it basically stopped during. By the time we released our second record, we already saw the difference, and then the whole music industry transitioned into a streaming and service-based economy, and people stopped buying records as a product. So when that happened, there was a long period, and there still is a period now, where it's difficult to understand how you can monetize your existence as an artist. So one of the most important things is how you synchronize your works, because you're not going to make as much money from selling records, so you need stuff like this to keep you going. So it's a really significant part of my publishing income. I'm going to show you some examples of stuff that my songs have been used in. Now the other thing is, if, say for example, American Burger Company says, well, all right, you don't want to be singing in the burger thing because of the cows, I get that. What about if we ask Richie Tombola and the Richie Tombola and the Geminis this 50s, I know it's a 50s rich nostalgia band that want to do a 50s nostalgic cover of I Believe in a Thing Called Love, and then we'll use that. And I'd be like, now that does make a difference, because if I'm not singing on it, then maybe it's okay. If Richie Tombola and the Geminis do it, I'm going to write that down because I'm definitely going to forget it. Richie Tombola. I'm actually quite pleased with that. Richie Tombola and the Geminis. So yeah, herein referred to as the Geminis. Yeah, so the Geminis version of it, they can use that. But the thing is, I then, as a songwriter, would only make the money from the song, and then the money that they would normally spend on to license the master recording, the Darkness version, they will then give that money or a differing amount, or they'd have to negotiate with Richie Tombola and the Geminis for what seems to be a fair amount for their recording. So it's not that complicated, really. There's only two elements of it to think about. You get royalties when the stuff is broadcast, in the sense that there are collection societies, and then they look at everything that's on the telly or on the radio or on the airwaves or used in any sort of public sphere, and they collect money from things like pubs, clubs, television stations and all that, and then they divvy up the money and send it out to the songwriters. It's a way of protecting songwriters from themselves, really, because you get yourself locked in a contract that's oppressive, or you can languish in contractual obscurity sometimes. You sign a deal and then nothing happens. But if you've got songs out there, half of the money that you get from the collection societies goes direct to you, and the other half goes to the publishing company to recoup your deal. So you always have some sort of income, even when you're in a lot of debt, and it's designed to just look after creative people like myself who are terrible with money. It's a really great system, and obviously I think I speak for all musicians and songwriters when I say that we're very grateful for that particular revenue stream. Can be a lifesaver, Anyway, here are some examples of Darkness songs being used in ads and on TVs and in films, actually. Okay, so this is the one that just happened. It's the Panda Express one. I remember when the request for this came in, they were like, we don't want it to be the original. We want it to be a cover, but we want it to be a cover with some, is it Mandarin? I think that one of the Chinese languages. And I was like, oh, okay, well, if it's, if someone's singing in Chinese, that's all right. I don't mind. Might be quite interesting. But then when I heard it, I was like, oh my God, they've gone really, tried to go as close as they can with the arrangement. And it doesn't really... just sounds like a bad cover until it gets to the Chinese bit, which is actually pretty cool, I think. So yeah, we don't have any kind of input in the cover version that they then choose. We don't have the right to approve or anything like that. You just get the opportunity to say no at the beginning of the process. Then they go to the studio, because I would argue that he's got the melody wrong there. Yeah, he goes, feelings that you, but it's feelings that you. Subtle difference, Not everybody can do what I do, I'm telling you. See, I like that bit because it's all in foreign talk. Nice, yeah, really roaring.
New sizzling shrimp for a limited time, only at Panda Express.
Sizzling shrimp. Delicious. From what I've read. That came at a welcome time. I was pleased that it wasn't the original version being used. But then when it came out, I got 2 texts from close friends saying, what the is that? And they were like, this is the worst cover ever. Too bad. It's just too bad. Hopefully it'll all die down at some point and nobody will draw any attention to, oh wait, what am I doing? You know what I mean? Aha, this is when Taylor Swift, and at her insistence, appeared in an Apple Music advertisement, dancing along to the I Believe in a Thing Called Love music tune, which was the original. It was completely approved. I was like, well, if Swifty's dancing to it, I'm in, because that is an opportunity for 2 fan bases to collide and potentially overlap. I'm not sure how much of that really happened. Who has the stats for that sort of thing? But it seemed like a great opportunity for us to be associated with someone that the kids love. And when I say the kids, I mean the kids. That's me playing that guitar. Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. That's me singing that song.
Touching you.
That's Taylor Swift dancing to that song. And they did a weird edit there, didn't they? Again, you don't get any say in I'm sure you can probably negotiate it so you get edit approval, but that would really slow up the process, and you'd probably, if you insist on a thing like that, you probably wouldn't get the gig in most cases, unless you're Guns and Roses. Apple Music.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Shane.
Oh my God, I remember this. Here comes Shane! Shane Ward! I think this is from Britain's Got the X Factor. Pretty solid piece of MDing there. Whoever's done this version of it really understands guitar.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel.
He's just gone, fee, fee, fee. He hasn't gone for the feel, fee, fee. Oh, I can't, it's too early for me, I can't see.
Yeah,
Yeah! Maybe I should have put a yeah in it.
my heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering.
He's done the same thing. Stop changing the melody. Sing the song the way it's supposed to be sung, you prick!
Touching you.
Nice. Stay on that second note a bit longer, Shane.
Touching me.
Bit longer on the second note.
Touching you.
Try touchan rather than touching, then you can get some more fullness in that upper bit there. But it's a lovely performance. He's singing really in tune. The backing track has slowed down somewhat for this. The chorus doesn't sound fast enough to me. And I imagine that's probably a device designed to assist Shane in being able to enunciate those difficult and heartfelt words in the chorus. But there's no denying he's right up there when it counts. Horrible run at the end. But you know what? That's Shane Ward doing a half-decent version, I Believe in a Thing Called Love, on the television. And this is something that we had to approve. They say, oh, is it all right if we use this? Here's some money. And then you go, well, okay, well, that's a Saturday night TV audience. I mean, yes, I think we can all accept that Saturday night TV audience might not be the most discerning of music enthusiasts. But the thing is, it's numbers. It's profile, and I thought it might cement that song's position as, you know, a bit of a rock classic.
I wanna kiss you every
Hey, what are you doing? Just changed it. Stop changing it. Bit sharp on the K, but who's counting? Stay on the second note longer. Sorry, the second note on the way down. I'm talking about the third note. Sorry, Shane, I've probably confused you there. Sorry, mate. God, he's doing a great job. Look at Louis Walsh grinning like a twat. Grinning like a twat and wobbling his head around in that way that bewildered folk do when they have no f***ing idea what rock is, even when it comes and punches them in the face. Yes, Shane, come on. Don't f*** this up. That's awesome. That is a great bit of singing. Well done, Shane. What is that drummer doing? F***ing shoot the drummer, for God's sake. It's supposed to be a f***ing dropout. Stop clattering through it like a shed builder. I don't want to hear drums in the drop, apart from the snare. And where's the synthesizer? Fuck, guys. So this is the thing that frustrates me. You don't get an opportunity to MD your own shit, even when it's on these dodgy Saturday night television programs when they haven't got a fucking clue what they're doing. You just have to sit there and take it. But enough about my sex life. Oh, forget it. Maybe that's what I should have done on the record, actually. That's a pretty good reinterpretation that Shane's doing there. I have no beef with Shane. No beef. Because he would probably beat the living shit out of me. Look at that clenched fist. I don't want that hurtling towards my face at the speed of an arm that's being... Yeah, that isn't bad, Shane. Well done.
I think, you know, on paper, Shane, that should have been a disaster. However, you pulled it off. It was terrific. You've got what...
Nice one, Simon. Nice one. Yeah, it should have been a disaster, actually. Wait, what do you mean by that?
The capability of what Robbie's got, which is to take a song outside of your comfort zone, have fun with it, entertain an audience. I thought it was terrific. Well done.
Thanks, Simon.
Nice one, Simon. Maybe I will go to his house one day and just sort of say, yeah, all right, I'll come over. Just for a coffee, though. I can't stay for dinner.
It was really nice to see you having fun up there, having a good time, and I really felt that you were really having a good time. And at this stage in the contest, that's very rare. It's good to...
It's nice to have a good time, isn't it? I think Sharon's right. It's nice to have a good time.
However, that song is awfully annoying, but...
Beg your pardon? I don't remember when they when they asked us to use this song. By the way, to use this song to enhance their Saturday night TV programme. I had no idea that it was then going to be slated by fucking Sharon Osbourne. What's going on?
That song it's a gimmicky song, but it...
A gimmicky song. If by a gimmicky song... Wait a minute. Okay, now I could... years ago, I would have been really defensive. So, gimmicky song? Well, what do you call patient number 9 then? Oh, I'm mad. Oh, I'm in the earth. That's a gimmicky song. Talk to me about fucking gimmicks. Who the f*** do you think you... Oh, yeah, you're Sharon Osbourne, sorry. But why? Why is As the song that they slag off? Why? What is it about me that makes people think it's okay to slag off my songs? What do you think that is? No other song on these programmes has that kind of critique at the end of it. It's a f*** you and f*** you. And by the way, you. Not you. You.
You know what? You are a star.
Thanks, Sharon.
Yeah, f*** off, Sharon.
Shane, I mean, I actually hated the Darkness version of that.
Yeah, you hated the Darkness's version of that. As is the fucking definitive original. It's not a version.
Song, but
Louis, you fucking cock.
The version was absolutely...
Of course, I haven't had much sleep, and indeed, the first coffee doesn't seem to have touched the sides. I'm going to have another one and get more angry, and then I'm going to re-record this. You watch. Actually, when Louis Walsh said that fucking ridiculous thing, if he really hated the song, why would he select it for his artist to go and sing? He's just lying. I'll tell you, here's a little story. Okay, I should save this for the book, really. But it's not very interesting, so I'm going to say it. I was backstage at some Irish Music Awards, having cleaned up once again, and I don't know, not sure if we won anything, we might have done, but anyway, we were either performing there or something, and I was talking to Joe Elliott, he says, dropping another rock legend name down on there, but, and then Louis Walsh came sort of skipping over, he wanted to say hi. I was like, F*** you, Louis Walsh, you just slagged off my fucking song, and then you think you can just come over and say... So I tried to blank him and left. Unfortunately, I was wearing like this, I was wearing like a blazer which had a lot of tassels on it, and some of the rigging backstage in these award ceremonies is temporary. So what had happened was the tassels had got wrapped around the scaffolding when I was talking to Joe Elliott, and as I was trying to sort of leave and blank Louis Walsh, I was just stranded there like a fly in a web, and he would be the spider in that instance. Look at that horrible spider face. This guy. F*** you.
Great comments. What do you want to say to the judges?
Thank you very much for your comments.
Thank you very much for your comments. Yeah, f*** you very much for your comments. Shane, stick up for me, man. Say something, please. Tell him.
You've just put the biggest smile on my face. So
Oh, it's all about you now, is it, Shane? F*** you.
honestly,
F*** you, Shane. F*** you. Everyone apart from Simon Cowell. I never thought I'd say that, but everyone apart from Simon Cowell, f*** you. It's funny though, because after a situation like that, you meet people like Louis Walsh, and I've met Sharon Osbourne since then. They've just been perfectly nice. I think it's just some Saturday night TV, but at the time I was kind of like really upset that it was like, why is it okay to slag off our song and no one else's? What is it about the Darkness that makes us that kind of whipping boyish? Is it because we have self-deprecating humour, and unlike all these other take themselves way too seriously, we're robust enough to rise above it. We're not sort of descending to shouting F*** you at the computer. Well, that isn't the case. We're not that. We are individuals who care about what we do, and when you slag us off, you turn us into your enemy. Okay, so then this is a different scenario. This one is when we did the Super Bowl commercial in 2012, I think it was. and it was a new Samsung Galaxy phone that was coming out, and they wanted to use our song. Then they wanted to use our song and us in the picture. They wanted the kids in the picture. They wanted the kids from the darkness in the pit. I don't know why they wanted the kids from the darkness in the picture, and none of the kids in the darkness had visas to be in America apart from me, so I had to go and do it on my own. It was such a lonely experience, but I did have my own Winnebago, so that was nice. It was like being a movie star, and of course it was directed by a famous movie director who does like comedies, and it was really like a huge production. It was good to be on set for something that actually had serious budget, and also of course I got to do some fine acting. But this is an example of the master recording being licensed, but they didn't just use the mix. They took out some stems from the studio sessions. They took some stems out to isolate the vocal for the first part of it. Weird stuff, all weird stuff when you see your things being manipulated like that. But then, you know, everything has a price, doesn't it? Every hour, every day. And then there's people doing bike stunts in the background. I did my own stunts on this, by the way. I didn't need anyone to step in. One of the dancers on this production took the piss out of me. He said like, you wearing your pyjamas or something? I was like, no, it's a catsuit. Leave me alone. And then I punched him in the face. No, I didn't. I didn't do that at first. I didn't, of course.
Hey guys, check this out!
It's a weird edit, you know, when they cut your song up like that, but you have to, I mean, I think that was a long form ad because it was in the Super Bowl break and it was their big budget. Look at us, we're Samsung, this is the Super Bowl, buy some phones kind of vibe. Really pleased with that one because, you know, that was at the beginning of the Darkness's kind of reformation period. So it was awesome to have a bit of attention in that moment when we really needed it. You get the picture. It is about pictures, really. Synchronization, it's synchronization of music to picture in whatever context, for broadcast or whatever, you know, it's whatever they want to use your music for. If there's a picture attached to it, that means synchronization, and that also means wonga for people like me who write songs. Well, and the best thing you can do is have a hit, and then people will use it for lots of cool stuff, and use that hit to associate the riff. Oh, I don't know why they do it. Anyway, I hope that explains some of synchronization, the world around it, and what it means, and how it fits in with the your economy as a musician and songwriter. And I hope you're all doing really well, and I'll see you on the ice. Nice one. Justin Hawkins writes again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and watch one of these 2 videos. Cheers, guys. See you later.